that side of the House never decided in this debate whether we had 120 MPs was too much representation or too little representation. Whether a few voters not being represented within each electorate was too little representation, or whether having each electorate's individual different perspectives was too much representation. They never decided whether it was better to have too much or too little representation. We tell you, Madam Speaker, that on this side of the House we get more representation of more differing ideological and practical viewpoints across the country, and that is a better outcome for New Zealand. 3 questions in the debate. The first, whether the legislation gets better or worse under our side of the House. The second, how does the quality of MPs respond? And the third, how does the quality of leadership respond? On the better legislation point, they hung their entire hat on urgent action being crucial, on the idea that having lots of debate was really, really bad. They never engaged with our material about, one, if really urgent action was necessary, the executive existing and with significant executive power given to it by Parliament, and they never responded to our material that actually, if you're consistently obstructionist, you're not going to be elected again, because people in these towns and cities actually want national change as well. They actually want things like tax policy and welfare policy changed. And they never told us why it was the case that actually having faster legislation was always good. Then they said actually that local issues were not the best thing and we should focus entirely on national issues. We say, one, local issues should be considered, and yes, sometimes local issues are in conflict with local issues in other parts of the country. That should be debated between the MPs. The MPs should be able to make trade-offs, and then at 3 years later at the election time, they should have to explain to their parliamentarians what things they got for their community in trade-off. We don't see why making the trade-offs is so bad. And this whole point at third about how good infrastructure would be stopped just didn't make sense. If it's so important, given that each individual electorate is the same number of people, it's probably going to be supported by lots of MPs, right? And second crossing on the Harbour Bridge would be supported by probably about MPs representing about 500,000 people, right? That's a lot of MPs in favour of it. We never heard any material about why important infrastructure, which affects lots of people, wouldn't be helped when we continue to represent each person with the same number of people on MPs. Then we talked about the quality of MPs that we were going to get Basically, here they never decided whether there was a lack of representation or too much representation. And we tell you that each MP, when she has to consider the views of every person in their country, will be a better representative of them. And then they said, actually, you haven't got enough attention, right? But you don't have to read the manifestos of all 10 candidates running for all 120 seats. You just have to consider the 10 that are running for your seat. And if people who don't have the attention span to consider those are turned off voting, we're fine with it. If they were just going to tribalistically vote for the Blue Party because their dad voted for the Blue Party, it's fine if they don't vote. Like, if only the people who want to vote are the people who are considered and know what they're voting for, we are fine with that on this side of the House. And the idea that actually no one's going to turn up because local issues aren't important, like, these MPs are still dealing with national issues. The reason no one votes for local governments is because local governments can't do anything. They can tax your property, they can't touch your income or your assets, right? There's not actually a significant reason for people to vote for them. We think they would continue, the informed people would continue to vote for MPs. Then on the quality of leadership, they forgot that actually there's plenty of counterfactual examples where MPs are working together to elect someone who can represent them and they will accept their authority. In the UK, the Speaker of the House is elected by a secret ballot. His authority is totally respected, including by the Prime Minister. That sort of thing can still happen on our side of the House. We get better representation even if it takes a bit longer. We're proud to support a better New Zealand.